Yes, they put out this creepy, crappy thing to air in December as a Christmas special. Now, you might be thinking, Cyril, things sometimes don't age well. This was probably very early CGI animation. To that I say, this came out in 2002. VeggieTales came out in 1993 and looks more appealing than Rapsittie Street Kids. Jimmy Neutron came out in 2002 and looks way better than Rapsittie Street Kids. This special also has a decent voice cast somehow. We have Mark Hamill, Walter Emmanuel Jones, Paige O'Hara, aka Luke Skywalker, Zach Taylor from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and Belle from Disney's Beauty and the Beast. I know people like to say Rhapsody Street Kids Believe in Santa is worse than A Christmas Tree, but here's the thing. These people can actually act. These people can also act. You might recognize them as the current voices of Clarabelle Cow, Daisy Duck, and Princess Ariel. Did the producers of this film have blackmail on these people? Was there an economic crisis I can't remember, and everyone was desperate to pay rent to the point they took up Rhapsody Street Kids? Ugh, whatever. Let's get into this crappy Christmas special. We open with visuals done on a dying Nintendo 64 with credits looking like they were done on dying Windows Movie Maker. I guess Nancy Cartwright blew the budget trying to get the voice actors because this animation stinks. This incomplete model is Ricky, who opens the special by rapping about Christmas. He goes over his budget for what he wants for Christmas. I'm not sure whether I should make a joke about the budget of this Christmas special or not, because I think those have been done to death, but whatever. I'm gonna do it anyway. This is this entire special's budget. And look, it's a common trope they have some kind of dead relative in a Christmas special. I'm not enjoying it here. Usually I would be okay with this or actually enjoy the dead parents, dead grandma, dead somebody plot. But the fact that the animations of this special comes off as so cheap, so poor, so idiotic, that it makes any attempt at pathos come off as pathetic. So, Ricky intends to give away his teddy bear his mother gave him. Why? Because his mother gave him his teddy bear out of love, and now he's going to give it away because it's out of love. He intends to give it to Nicole. Look, dude, just because you do something out of love doesn't mean people are going to reciprocate that love back. That's not how this works, and you know it. The school also misspelled excellence. I thought this was a school. You'd think that better proofreaders would be a bigger priority. Once more, this special looks cheap as hell. What are these animation models? Seriously, just throwing random shit on a tree here probably would be impressive if this was in a better animated show, but no, it's in this. There's only so many ways I could say, this is cheap, or the budget went to the voice actors, or the snowballs look like cardboard cutouts and everything else does. But honestly, you get real tired, and let's get back to the paper-thin plot of this special. Ricky gives her the bear, Nicole tosses it in the trash, Nicole doesn't believe in Santa, and now for the grandma. I have no idea whether this was the legitimate voice direction because this is supposed to be funny, or if the files were corrupted and Deborah Wilson found some dirt on the entire producing cast in order to counter-blackmail them into never going back into the recording booth ever again for this terrible special. Ricky writes a letter to Santa, it gets blown away because physics, and Nicole gets an entire song sequence that's poorly animated, poorly edited, and legitimately makes my eyes turn red. She eventually finds Ricky's letter to Santa and feels awful because he's a very nice person. So she goes to the junkyard with a bunch of other characters, who I'm just going to call extras, to find the bear. After running afoul of the guard dogs with some awful running animation, somehow I find these dogs oddly cute. The dogs eventually chase the three bullies because one of the kids threw a sandwich at them, which changes the course of the dogs, I guess. Nicole goes to Ricky's house and returns the bear. And of course, because this is a special dedicated to believing in Santa Claus, we get another poorly edited song sequence where we have to shove the part of about where believing in Santa Claus should be a thing. This plot is so tacked on, but you had to justify this thing being 40 minutes long. More shots of ugly people, more shots of ugly people. The end. This special is terrible, awful. It is Yuletide crap. The plot overall is generally mundane, but the pacing is horrendous. This did not need to be a 40-minute special, and you could clearly see that people who made this were straining and thus had to tack on the believe in Santa Claus moral. The plot is honestly not the worst. It's simple, but it's only dragged down by just about everything else. Better songwriters could make this plot actually work. Having a second draft might actually make this work. But the only thing anyone talks about here is, with good reason, that horrid animation. I barely know where to begin with it. In terms of character movements, the character movement is awful. Whenever you walk, you bend your foot in order to press off the ground and move forward or backwards. Here, that doesn't happen. Whenever a character walks, their feet don't change shape, and they don't feel like they're actually pressing off the ground. The illusion simply isn't there. Instead, it feels like they are slipping and sliding across the ground. Now, if this was done by a better, more competent crew, then the crew probably would have just had them ice skate everywhere in order to save money on the budget. But hey, that would be a good thing. Art from adversity. Or, better yet, just don't show full body shots of them walking at all. Just have their waist up. Sure, someone's probably bound to notice the wonky animation, like Berserk 2016, but it's better than this. This just looks like crap. Then there are the textures. You saw the teddy bear in the last slide, now you can see everything here. Everything is so dull, lifeless, and flat. I don't even think the horizon is done right in this shot. Everything is awful. Layering, texturing, everything. 2D versus 3D. Whenever body movements, I'm circling back again because forgive me, these body movements and expressions are always looking like they are breaking their spines. Whenever a character is laughing, worse off, it's just creepy because it looks like they're convulsing violently. And look at this. Anything that isn't a building or a character just looks like someone took 2D or clip art of something and then just copied and pasted it. They don't even make the effort in order to add things like depth to them, because depth is expensive and takes a lot of effort. Those snowballs are more like snow plastic disc, and that's an insult to plastic disc. But you may be asking, which one is worse? Rapsittie Street Kids Believe in Santa, or The Christmas Tree? In terms of animation, The Christmas Tree beats Rapsittie Street Kids Believes in Santa. Never thought I'd actually praise The Christmas Tree for anything, but here we are. There's a first time for everything, I guess. At least the dog is expressive in that one. Seriously, Licorice is the best character in The Christmas Tree, and I cannot believe that he is also the saving grace of animation for The Christmas Tree. Sorry, Rapsittie Street Kids Believe in Santa. The dogs you have aren't as cute as Licorice. Wait, why am I apologizing to Rapsittie Street Kids Believe in Santa? I hate this special. Here, in this special, we have a special that believes movement is a replacement for subtlety in their expressions, and it doesn't do movement very well. Rapsittie Street Kids has a rather mundane plot and has mundane results. The Christmas Tree is an over-the-top idiot plot that ends with Santa smiting the big bad through a tree. The only thing this piece of crap special does better is the voice cast, but I think the fact the voice cast is actually decent and churns in mildly passable performances with what they have is actually what hurts this more than the animation. Because if you look at it all, you have a basic plot, you have decent voice acting, and you have awful animation. Now compare that to The Christmas Tree. Bad plot, bad animation, bad voice acting, but this is what makes it more memeable. If you took a poll of anyone who watched this and any character they remember the most, Grandma Fran probably will rank towards the top of that list, if not the absolute pinnacle. Why? It's because she has memorably bad dialogue. Well, you can't actually repeat any of her dialogue because it's nothing but gibberish that sounds like you're summoning Cthulhu, but at least it is memorably bad, even though she is well acted for the entire time. Again, I'm not sure whether that's the actual direction they gave her, or that was somehow the audio files getting corrupt and nobody wanted to just call Deborah Wilson up to get her to redo the audio, or Deborah Wilson decided to get blackmail on all of them. But I think I made my point. The only thing people remember about this is the bad animation and the grandma's dialogue. And honestly, I think that's all that needs to be said about how awful this special is. Please consider liking, subscribing, tipping the channel on Ko-fi. This is Cyril signing off.